If the only thing standing between you and the life you desire was one sentence whispered in the dark, would you say it? I did. And within 3 days, the impossible unfolded before my eyes. I didn't hustle. I didn't push. I simply spoke and everything changed. There's a sacred window that opens just before sleep when your mind is soft, your heart is open, and your world is quiet. That's when your words become instructions to the universe, not suggestions, commands. That night I didn't beg. I didn't plead. I spoke a truth that felt too good to be fake, and I let it sink deep into my being. It's already mine. I am already living it. Thank you. That was it. No long speeches, no rituals, just a few words spoken with feeling, not fear. You see, the moment you speak with belief, something greater than you starts listening. I didn't speak to wish, I spoke to declare. I didn't describe the lack, I affirmed the fulfillment. My body relaxed, my breath slowed, and my imagination carried me into a world where what I wanted had already happened. I let my senses touch what my eyes couldn't yet see. I felt the joy of it, the certainty of it, as if it had already unfolded. And that's when the shift began. The next morning, nothing looked different, but I was different. I moved through my day like someone who already received what they once hoped for. I didn't check or chase. I walked in quiet, knowing. And by the third day, life cracked open. The phone call came. The opportunity appeared. The person reached out. The doors that were shut flew wide open, not because I forced them, but because I spoke from a place that couldn't be denied. Miracles don't come to the restless, they come to the ready. And readiness is born in your words. Speak like it's already yours. Feel like it's already done. Because when your emotions and your words align, the impossible has no choice but to obey. Most people sleep with anxiety, with fear, with regret. I chose to sleep with victory, with thankfulness, with vision, and that made all the difference. You don't need more time. You need more truth in your speech. You need words that reflect where you're going, not where you've been. Declare even in darkness, especially in darkness, because what you say at night writes the code for what you wake up to. Speak it, feel it, believe it. And then just watch how fast your reality bends to meet your words. 3 days is not a miracle timeline. It's a mirror timeline. It reflects how real your inner state has become. So tonight, don't just talk, create. Let your words be wrapped in emotion, sealed with conviction, and surrendered with peace. Say what you want with the power of someone who already has it. You'll be amazed at how fast life listens when you finally speak like it's already done. Your final words before drifting into sleep are not just thoughts, they are blueprints. They guide your subconscious like a compass pointing toward your desired life. When you speak from a place of certainty just before sleep, the line between imagination and reality begins to dissolve. You plant a seed in the soil of your mind, and while your body rests, that seed begins to take root. The key is not in how loud you speak, but in how true it feels when you say it. I didn't whisper to the stars, hoping they'd listen. I whispered because I knew they were already listening. Every night I let my words shape the morning I wanted to wake up to. It's already mine, I would say, not with doubt, but with warmth. And by morning my energy carried the weight of that declaration. Life meets you at the level of your conviction. Speak what you want, as if it's already surrounding you. And in 3 days, you'll begin to touch what you first created in the dark. A word spoken without feeling is just noise, but a word spoken with emotion is like lightning in the invisible realm. When I spoke my truth at night, I didn't just say it, I felt it with every inch of my being. Emotion gives your words wings. Without it, they fall flat into silence. I didn't just say thank you, I felt gratitude flood through my chest. That surge of emotion signaled that I wasn't just hoping, I was receiving. Every word must carry a pulse, a vibration that reaches beyond logic. If your voice shakes with passion, it's a sign your creation is near. I didn't need to scream it, I needed to mean it. Once the words and feelings matched, the universe had its orders. That is the formula. Speak it, feel it, let it flow through you like breath. When your speech becomes a song of certainty, miracles become the chorus. The world sleeps at night, but your creative power awakens. In that quiet space, your imagination becomes most fertile. There are no distractions, no noise, only you and the voice that creates worlds. I treated nighttime not as an ending, but as the true beginning. I became deliberate with my final thoughts, knowing they would echo into the next day. My words became paintbrushes, drawing the life I longed for. The silence was sacred, and into it, I poured only what I wanted more of. I stopped recapping the day's problems and started scripting tomorrow's blessings. That's how transformation starts, not with action, but with intention. Speak into the night like it's soil and your words are seeds. You know that the universe does its deepest work when you sleep. You're not wasting time in bed, you're building reality. What you say as you drift into dreams becomes the structure your life rests on. When I spoke with hesitation, life hesitated. When I spoke with clarity, life delivered. It was that simple. The energy of your voice reveals your alignment. If your heart is unsure, your world reflects that doubt. But when you declare your desire with a steady tongue and a calm spirit, the world listens and responds. I learned not to use my voice to plead, but to proclaim. Even when fear whispered, I chose to speak boldly. Because clarity isn't just confidence, it's a command. You are not asking for miracles, you're authorizing them. Speak like the outcome is guaranteed, and you remove every block in its path. I didn't speak for reassurance. I spoke to activate. And what I activated with boldness showed up with speed. Life doesn't respond to the loudest voice. It responds to the most certain one. The more I talked about what I lacked, the more lack grew. But when I shifted my words toward fulfillment, everything changed. I stopped saying I hope and started saying I receive. My speech turned into a language of abundance, and the universe responded in kind. Each night, I spoke of what I wanted as if it had already arrived. I didn't describe the pain, I described the joy of being past it. I didn't name the obstacles, I celebrated the outcome. My words became gratitude in advance, and that advance payment brought the blessings rushing in. If you speak from lack, you invite more lack. But when you speak from fullness, you become a magnet for more. I decided to stop reacting with my words and start creating with them. I mastered my language, and my life followed. Gratitude wasn't the reward, it was the engine. There was a time I thought long prayers and hours of effort were necessary. But I learned quickly that a short, heartfelt sentence could change everything. One phrase spoken with conviction carried more power than pages spoken in fear. I didn't need to chant all night, I needed to speak once and believe. Thank you, it is done. That's all it took. But those words were soaked in trust. The universe doesn't respond to effort, it responds to emotional certainty. I spoke like someone who knew the promise had already been kept. And in that certainty, my world began shifting. I discovered that creation is not about time, it's about truth. When your inner voice aligns with your inner vision, the outer world has no choice but to conform. So I spoke less and believed more, and everything began to move. The moment my body started believing what my words were saying, the miracle began. I didn't just say I am loved, I stood taller, breathed deeper, and felt loved. My posture shifted. My tone softened. I smiled like I had already received the blessing. That's when the external started aligning with the internal, because the body doesn't lie. When you believe your own words, you move differently. Your energy becomes undeniable. People feel the shift before you ever speak again. I became the embodiment of what I had only imagined. And from that embodiment, reality couldn't resist. I didn't need proof, I was the proof. When belief takes hold of your body, manifestation becomes effortless. I didn't force it. I became it. And what I became, I received. I used to believe it would take months or years for anything to truly shift. But I discovered that the moment your inner conviction becomes unshakable, time bends. 3 days isn't a fantasy, it's a reflection of how aligned you are with your desire. I spoke the truth of what I wanted with so much feeling that it began rearranging everything unseen. I didn't ask, can it happen this fast? I decided it already has. That decision carried weight. It vibrated through my thoughts, my energy, my posture. Life mirrors how quickly we believe. I stayed consistent in my speech, soft, sure, and soaked in gratitude. Every night I returned to the same phrase, thank you. It's already mine. And every morning the world felt closer to my vision. On the third day, the evidence showed up not because I pushed, but because I finally let go. Speed doesn't come from pressure. It comes from purity of belief. 3 days is enough when the voice inside you no longer contradicts your vision. Speak once with power, and reality has no choice but to respond swiftly. The night isn't just a time to rest, it's a divine appointment with your future. As the world winds down, your creative force wakes up. What you whisper before sleep becomes the script your subconscious follows. It listens without judgment. It believes without delay. So I made sure to speak only what I wanted multiplied. I said it like it was real. And that reality rushed toward me. The sun doesn't rise to surprise you, it rises to meet you. And it meets the version of you you built during the night. Don't end your day with worry. End it with vision. Speak the outcome. Sleep in the feeling. Rise in the manifestation. What begins as a whisper becomes the loudest proof in daylight. Your miracle isn't far, it's waiting to be spoken into being. One sentence, one feeling, one night of truth. That's all it takes to wake up to a new life. Speak like a creator, sleep like it's done, and open your eyes to proof.